There's no one size fits all to grief. Sometimes it looks like crying, sometimes wandering, sometimes surviving. And in Cory's case, grief sometimes feels like everything else in your life has just gone to zero. In this episode, Cory shares what happened when he realized he didn't have the tools he needed to get out of that grief alone and chose guidance instead of isolation. We break down what rebuilding actually takes. And we don't skip the part that most people miss, and that's learning to pair growth with grace so that any setbacks you have in your journey aren't met with self-punishment. Let's dive in. Welcome to this episode's Best Path Forward. My name is Daniel Best, and today I'm joined by Cory.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Cory. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here.
Of course.
It took us a while to get this thing done.
Yeah, a little bit.
I've known you for about 23 years, it seems, and you're just now coming on this podcast. I should be offended.
I know. You've asked me before you had the idea for the podcast.
And you said what?
What podcast?
So after we had this nice, heartfelt conversation about a podcast,
Right.
You said, what podcast?
Still, yes.
You have the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah, and you know that from 23 years of friendship.
Yeah, so Cory, what's your story?
Where do you want to start?
It's open-ended by design.
Okay. Well, what would you like to know? Anything specific, Dan?
Nope. I'm going to let you pick what I should know and what I shouldn't know.
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm the oldest of five. I live here in Columbus, Ohio now, where I work as an attorney.
You're an attorney.
I am.
Lots to unpack there. Not the attorney part, but the whole Cleveland, Ohio.
Sure.
So what's a highlight of Cleveland, Ohio?
That's my hometown.
I said the highlight. The only highlight is that it's home to Cory.
When I go home, I do nothing but be at home.
Be at home. So
I don't even go see Cleveland.
A lot of people like the sports teams.
I like them from home.
You like them from home?
Yeah.
So you go home to Cleveland to watch sports on TV?
From home.
Yeah. So what sports do you watch? What Cleveland team has your allegiance?
I love the Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians.
Big baseball fan.
Okay, I thought that was a hockey team. They're baseball. I don't know things about sports. I'm not that smart at all.
Yes.
So they're the baseball team.
They are.
They're pretty good?
This year, they're getting better.
Oh, okay, so that's a no.
We're coming on strong.
All right, so I don't know anything, like where are we in baseball trajectory and timelines?
It is the halfway point of the season. It's the All-Star game is tonight.
All-Star game is tonight.
All-Star game is tonight.
So what is a good record for baseball at this point?
Something other than the Guardians record.
So the Guardians, so I know 500 means they're equal wins and equal losses.
Correct.
And are they at 500?
They're just below 500.
So what advice would you have for the Guardians?
Just keep going.
Keep going?
Keep going.
At the same place as going downhill?
They ended the break on an upward trajectory. So.
All right, so they ended. There's a break before All-Star game.
Yeah, the All-Star break is the players who don't make the All-Star game go do something else and rest. And so some players are playing this week. Most of them are not.
Some players on the Guardians.
There's one or two.
My gosh, you're going to get us in trouble. All the Guardian fans are going to tune into this at one time. We're like, we're going to cancel that guy. Please don't. We're just getting started. Don't get us canceled over the Guardians. So have you ever been to an All-Star game?
Yes.
When was this?
When they had it in Cleveland sometime in the mid to late 90s. It was a very memorable All-Star game because Sandy Alomar ended it with a grand slam, I believe. And I was at that game.
So Sandy Alomar sounds like a person I should know. We both know I don't.
He was the starting catcher for the then Indians when they were going to the World Series.
Oh, so it was a Cleveland team who was a catcher at the time.
Yeah, and it was the All-Star game was at home.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice, man. So that's a good memory to have. What about the Cavaliers? I've heard they're in Cleveland. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, they are in Cleveland.
Nice. Is basketball still happening?
Basketball season ended a month or two ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did the Cavs do?
The Cavs made it to the first round of the playoffs, or maybe no, they made it to the second round, and then the injury bug hit them, and then all our guys were hurt, and we ended up losing to the Pacers.
Injury bug is real. Pacers were pretty good. I heard that name.
Yeah,
on the news.
they made it to the finals, and if it wasn't for a devastating injury for them in the finals, they probably would have won.
Everyone's getting hurt.
I know.
Is it your fault?
It's like they need to get on some bike brains and learn about body.
As someone who's had 2 surgeries this year, I don't know if the bike brains are preventative measures for surgery.
Fair.
Disclaimer, there are going to be bike brains in the future. They are not medical advice. If you have broken bones, go see a doctor or someone. The bike brains can't help you kind of deal with that at all.
That's right.
So you say you're the oldest of 5.
Yes.
That's a lot of kids around.
Yeah, it was.
So how was it being the oldest?
It depends who you ask. Me, I loved it. I don't think my siblings did too much.
You say it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
So they have a different perception growing
I
up.
must think they did.
Oh no, what'd you do?
I was horrible.
Big Brother was horrible?
I was so bad. Yeah, I was a typical big brother.
Like what?
Oh God. I wrote my mom a letter that she still has, where I said, "Mom, if I burn their birth certificates, will they go away?"
Oh, burn their birth certificates?
Yeah. She still has that letter.
So this is proof that attorneys are not smart.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Have you met an attorney?
Yeah, I'm talking to one right now. Without that, burning a birth certificate would disappear his
I
younger
know.
siblings.
You'd think when I was like 25, I would have known better. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh.
kidding.
How old were you?
I was young. I don't know.
20.
I don't know.
All right. So what did your mom do? She kept the letter?
No, she kept the letter.
Why?
Why? Because moms do that.
Aw.
I had to write a lot of letters when I was a kid to my mom.
All these about your siblings?
Or mostly.
What were you requesting these letters?
I didn't request them. She requested them.
Oh, she requested, did you write her letters?
Because I would do something bad, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So it's like kind of like the Bart Simpson writing on the
just like Bart
chalkboard.
Simpson, yes.
Instead of a chalkboard, you guys just had a notepad and note
Wrote a
station.
letter. Yeah, it was like a legit letter.
Oh, that's fun.
I know.
All right. So I assume you're in a good relationship and spot with your siblings now.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you
I always thought I was anyway, but like I said, it depends who you ask.
I mean, when you're looking to burn their birth certificates to make them disappear as if it's like Thanos in the Endgame, or I guess Infinity War? Yeah, that one. Do you know what that is? Mm-mm. So you know baseball, and I know Marvel movies.
Yeah.
There's a guy who just snapped half the world out of existence.
Is Superman Marvel?
That is...
I know they just filmed Superman in Cleveland, so.
No, Superman is not Marvel. Superman is DC.
Got it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Superman.
I don't think Superman's listening to this. It'd be super cool if you were.
That's right.
So you haven't seen Superman yet?
No.
I saw Superman, and my buddy was like, "Oh yeah, that's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they filmed it at the Guardian Stadium.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah. And among other places.
So why haven't you seen Superman to support Cleveland?
I don't see many movies.
But you like Cleveland,
Yeah.
so you need to make an exception to that rule to go support Cleveland and Superman.
I probably
I'll
won't.
drag it to the movies. Don't worry about it. It's fine. So Cory, you say you moved to Columbus from Cleveland.
Yes.
So what made you move to Columbus? Was it law school?
Undergrad.
Undergrad.
Ohio State. Yeah.
Oh, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I think most people in Ohio or Columbus have moved here to go to Ohio State.
I would think the vast majority.
All right. So, what was your favorite experience about being at, here it's called the Ohio State? As someone that's a double Buckeye, it is the Ohio State, so I don't know if I trust this one. So what was your favorite thing about the Ohio State?
Well, it was a very eye-opening experience for me. So I grew up figure skating competitively.
What?
And to do that, I was homeschooled so I could pursue that. And so I was going from a school of 1 to a school of like 50,000. And so that was a very eye-opening transition experience that I'll never forget.
So let me ask you, did you walk into the dean's office and ask for all their birth certificates so you could burn them so all the students will go away?
No, I outgrew my fire setter stage.
He says now. So you said you were competitive figure skating.
That's right.
And then you were homeschooled because of that.
That's right.
And so when you moved to Columbus and went to Ohio State University, it was from going from one person to a school of 50,000, and your classes were probably at least a couple of hundred people, especially your freshman year.
I remember freshman year I had 1, if not 2, 600-person lectures. Macro and micro econ 101 and 102, I think it was.
So I gotta ask, like, how do you start developing like those social skills to like talk to people and even like go to your professor?
I mean, I had a job in high school and stuff like that. I worked at the grocery store, so that helped. The skating community helped. I had a really tremendous roommate who's still a very good friend of mine who helped me with their transition, and it was a process.
It was a process.
It was a process.
What was the toughest part of that process?
Boy, it was like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
I mean, literally everything was new, you know, literally everything. So yeah, it was just all just thinking on my feet and trying to make the best of it.
Okay. I gotta ask. So competitive figure skating. So how did you get into that?
Well, circling back to what we talked about at the beginning, I was such an annoyance to my parents and my siblings. They just needed to get me out of the house. And I think my sister had signed up for skating lessons. So like, just go and do it. And I stuck with it. So
your sister wanted to go do the ice skating?
I think she was already signed up for it.
And they just shoved you along with her?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you push her while she was on the ice?
I can't remember.
That's a yes. It's fine. We don't want to incriminate yourself here, Mr. Attorney
Statute of
Guy.
limitations probably ran.
I don't know about that. So what made you stay in competitive figure skating?
Well, I took to it. I think first it was a solo sport, and I think that was something I craved coming from a large house, right? A lot of kids. So I got to be myself and then be creative and express myself, which I have taken different outlets later in life. But I think that's what really drew me to the sport.
So you're able to kind of express yourself, kind of come up with your own routines and everything?
Yeah. It was all on me, and it was all how I was able to create out there, and it's just something I found really enjoyable.
Did you have to give that up when you went to Ohio State?
Yeah, that was a trade-off. Do I keep pursuing that competitively, or do I kind of go the traditional route? And where I was in my career, if you will, with skating, it was time to go to the traditional route.
Okay. There's a tradition that I'm making up on the spot right now. Once a man puts on the blade, he can never take it off.
Well, it is true.
So how did you continue to keep the blade on?
Yeah, so there was a figure skating club at Ohio State that I was a part of. When I started figure skating, I also played hockey, and then I stopped that to pursue figure skating seriously. I did the rec leagues in college for hockey, and now I still play hockey every week.
So you play hockey every week to this day?
Yeah, to this day.
The lawyer on skates playing hockey and destroying people.
Not destroying people, but they're not allowed to hit in this league.
I'm sorry, what?
You can't check, is what they call it when hockey players hit each other.
What do you mean you can't check?
Well, because we all have to go to work the next day.
So I watch hockey, and they seem to hit each other pretty hard. And even, are you guys allowed to fight?
No fighting. You'll get suspended.
For how long?
Long enough.
Long enough to deter you from fighting.
I don't fight. I never have, but yeah, it happens.
I don't know. You had some siblings that your parents were forced to take you out of the house to get into figure skating and everything,
right.
And you didn't fight at all, aside from your siblings.
No, I was never a fighter. Never a fighter.
I have so many questions about the torture you did to your poor siblings.
I know.
That's neither here and there. So you say you're an attorney.
Yes.
All right, and so that's how you and I know each other, through law school.
That's right.
So what was the highlight of your law school experience?
Other than you, damn best.
Oh,
Honestly,
I'm not paying you to say that, but I appreciate
well,
it.
we were part of it though, because me, you, and another guy formed a kind of a tight study group.
The trio.
The trio, whatever, but I remembered great study sessions with us, and where studying is often secondary, and we kind of found our own little pocket in the law school in the microfiche room.
Oh, I remember that room.
And and so I think those late nights were my favorite memory.
I like how you say secondary studying. You and our friend Jason Grinnell,
Right.
You guys were geniuses.
Hardly.
I struggled in
for
law
me,
school.
Jason was certainly smart.
You guys were like, oh, we don't have to study. I'm sitting there trying to buckle down.
I certainly studied.
Barely.
Barely?
Yeah. You were always out and partying. You were a part of the party section.
No, I was not.
So law school.
Weren't we in the same section?
Well, we were the party section.
Yeah.
Yeah, so law school, especially when we went to law school, there were different sections involved. Three sections. You had the gunner section, people that asked and answered all the questions. You had the, what was the other one? The what?
Wasn't it the old people section?
Oh my God, I can't believe you said that.
Wasn't it?
The esteemed
colleague section.
Esteemed colleague section. And then also, last but not least, was the party section.
Right.
I think that was us. We were the dumb ones.
Oh, certainly we were.
But we had the most fun.
Well, listen, we all graduated. We all did very well for ourselves, so we did a good job.
And speaking of doing well for yourself, what type of law do you practice now?
I am a prosecutor.
Prosecutor. So you put bad guys in jail.
I do. I seek justice.
Oh, that was a good way. That was good. I'll give you that. So I guess I should drink after our toast. Yeah,
I think so.
it's great water. So what's your favorite thing about being a prosecutor?
That I could help people.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yeah.
That you usually people kind of talk more there about how they like helping people.
Well, I prosecute a lot of cases with people who have serious mental illness, and so I take a lot of joy or pride or whatever you want to say in helping them kind of get out of that funk and get access to services that they don't have or medication, treatment resources. So my particular niche of cases that allows me to do that. So that's what I get most enjoyment from.
I think that's pretty cool. I think a lot of people will go through law school and they're like, oh, I want to do big law. I want to do corporate law. They get drawn by the appeal of dollar bills, not necessarily aware of the whole billable hour thing. I mean, I was one that got drawn to that. Did you always want to kind of go the prosecutorial? Is that a word?
Yeah, I always wanted to be a prosecutor, yes.
Okay, you didn't say prosecutorial. Is that,
Prosecutorial.
what did I say?
Correct. No,
Oh, I was right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it. So you always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Yes.
I assume you grew up watching Law and Order.
Jack McCoy, the original.
Seriously?
Yep.
You got your inspiration to go to law school and become a lawyer from Law and Order.
I was obsessed with Jack McCoy.
All right. So was Jack McCoy a prosecutor?
Yes.
All right.
In the original Law and Order.
And the original?
Yeah.
So that was probably about 20 years ago.
I mean, the original I think still on, but I'm differentiating that between like what SVU and like the criminal intent and whatever the other ones I had. There was
Is the original one still on?
I think, but Jack McCoy's not doing it, I don't think, anymore.
All right. So what was it about Jack McCoy's, I guess, philosophy of justice that kind of captivated you?
He always sought to do the right thing, whatever that was. I think that if I could boil it down, that's what it would be.
So I assume kind of dealing with people that kind of have mental health challenges isn't necessarily the easiest. And everyone knows that the prosecutor kind of has a lot of power as far as like giving out justice and kind of making sure the right outcomes are reached.
Right.
So how do you kind of balance someone's personal needs but also kind of like making sure whatever crime they did is kind of taken into account?
Well, I believe that if I correct the underlying or address the underlying source of the criminality, oftentimes the mental illness directly leading to the crime, well, then I would have solved an issue of recidivism. So if I address the mental health issues that led to the crime, then there's not going to be any future crime.
You're using LSAT words. What?
Recidivism is reoffending.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay. Yeah, I can't say that word. I get tongue-tied. So if you address the underlying issue...
Right. If the crime was committed because of the mental health issue, I believe that if you address the mental health issue, then you're not going to have any more crime for that person. And that is, I've proven that to myself anyway, prosecuting that way.
So I got a question. But you can't give away like confidential information or stuff like that. So what's been one of your most favorite experiences where you felt, this is where I'm meant to be. This is my calling as a prosecutor. Do you have a case that kind of stands out in your mind?
Not so much, but I think the case that stands out because it's so common in what I do.
Okay.
In other words, it's a very run-of-the-mill case. Someone has serious mental health issues. They, for example, burn their house down because the voices are telling them to do it, or what, some mental health reason why, and that's the crime, right? Burning your house down is a crime. And when I get it, and I want to work within the system to address those issues. And the reason that stands out is because it's so common and so everyday that, it shows that people are not getting access to the resources that they need. And so we try to use the court system to further that good.
So have you kind of like over your career kind of dealing with, I guess, arson cases, have you kind of seen like a pattern as to why people that have some kind of mental illnesses or mental health conditions, why they typically go to arson?
No, and I always say someone smarter than me will study that. It's certainly a correlation, but I think there's a causation there too, because it's so common in the arson arena to have defendants committing crimes because of their serious mental health issues, more than I think any other crime. So someone smarter than me will study it and do some research on that, but I don't know the answer.
Okay. And so, Cory, one of the things that I kind of respect about you in your career is because I know if I got close to criminal law, I'm like, my heart would be kind of heavy, just like every day kind of dealing with like even something as arson where there's no like people that died in the fire.
Right.
Even if like there's always kind of dealing with that and dealing with someone's like, I want to help them, but they're going through this mental health crisis. And so like, how can I make sure not only that the crime that they're accused of is properly like accounted for, but also that this person gets help. And I feel like it will bog me down. So like, how do you make sure you don't let it get to you as far as dealing with these kind of heavy cases?
Well, with those ones, it's I have the conviction that I'm doing the right thing. It's those other ones where you have victims and victims of serious and heinous crimes. I'm not going to lie, you do get bogged down in that. You know, that's a real thing.
All right. So if you get bogged down, how do you go about finding the light?
You got to compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize.
You know, find an outlet outside of work to kind of bring you out of that.
I dig that. It sounds like you have one of those outlets.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. Do you have an outlet to kind of make sure you stay focused and focus on the positive things?
Yeah, I'd love to read and write.
Read and write. A lawyer that likes reading and writing? That's actually pretty rare. A lot of people think it's just courtroom stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, if you're looking to go to law school, it's going to be a lot of reading and a lot of writing. Could you agree with that?
Yeah, but not the good kind.
Oh, is there a good kind?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't do lawyer reading and writing?
No.
Oh, okay. You should have started with that.
Yeah, I say we do the stuff. Yeah.
You know, you were very vague. I thought it was by design. I thought you were out there writing law review articles.
God, no.
Yeah, so you're not writing law review articles in your free time.
No.
So what kind of reading and writing do you do?
Any type of genre, fiction or nonfiction. I love to read and I love to write as well.
All right, so what's one of your favorite things to write? You're like a short story writer or a long story writer?
As you know, we've gone through our writing journey together.
Yeah.
A lot of the way. And so I've written several novel-length books.
Nice. So what is it about writing that kind of helps you compartmentalize the world and escape into another one?
Well, it goes back to what drew me to skating. It's a creative outlet that I'm drawn to. I think that's simple as that.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yet so complex. You're writing novels.
Simple is almost always better.
You're investigating arson crimes on one end and then writing novels on the other end and then also reading novels and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you give us a little teaser of one of your favorite things that you've written?
Boy, I'll have to dig that back up in my mind.
Ooh, cup of water's waiting as he digs up that answer.
Well,
It's really good water too. Straight from the fridge.
You've read The Bad Men, my most recent novel, which concerns a prosecutor's office investigator who was fired as a homicide detective, kind of got picked up by the prosecutor's office on his heels, and he ended up befriending a former defendant in the past. Now fast forward to present day, he learns that former defendant, someone he helped, got accused of the crime of the century in Columbus, Ohio. A very high profile case. And the main character, Hiram McGinney, just didn't believe it. And so he was determined to prove that this guy did not commit the crime. And ultimately, by doing so, he puts himself and his family in the crosshairs of the true killer, which happens to be someone he knows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Deception from someone you know is awesome.
Isn't it?
It is. So it's interesting too, because this person's on a quest for the truth. In this case, the truth isn't about like the guilty party.
Right.
It's actually the innocent party.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what you do in your job. It's like, yeah, someone might be accused of a crime, but it's like, do I have enough here to kind of prove that they did it?
Absolutely.
So are you using what you learned from work to kind of fuel your own creative writings?
No, in the sense that
It's like, I don't want to.
in the sense that my drive to do the right thing, I think, is what's helping in the writing and in work. So I think that's wherever that comes from is helping me do both things.
I think that's an awesome kind of code to have. Where do you think you got that from?
I don't know. Maybe we'll uncover that one day.
One day.
Yeah.
All right, fingers crossed.
Let's see.
Well, Cory, thank you for kind of regaling us with your awesome backstory about watching Cleveland sports from the comfort of your Cleveland home
Yeah.
when traveling in Cleveland. Your figure skating, is it ice skating, figure skating, or are they the same thing?
Probably the same thing.
Probably.
I think.
Is all ice skating figure skating?
I don't know. No, I think the answer is probably no.
The answer is probably no, right? Yeah. So I thank you for whatever skating it is. The blades on your feet moving along ice, be it via hockey, via figure skating, and then also your time at Ohio State, and then law school, and the awesome novels. But if you don't mind, this is enough about you. So can we get to me? You had homework for this whole preparation of coming on this podcast.
I did have homework.
You had 2 pieces. We're going to talk about the first one now.
Okay.
Do you remember what the first piece of homework was?
It was to pick 2 dates that mean something to me.
All right.
And to let you know what they were.
All right. So we kind of talked about those dates. You remember the date that you picked?
I believe so.
What was it?
Am I picking the one date?
Yeah, just one date.
So it's July 12th of 2024.
July 12th, 2024. Was it written down? You start pointing.
I was just trying to remember.
Remember, I like it. So what's the story behind July 12th, 2024?
That is when the adoption of my dog became final.
You're a dog owner too?
Yeah.
All right. So tell us something about this pup.
His name is Hamilton.
All right.
He is half golden retriever and half husky. He now has a sister, which he did not have initially. And her name is Sophia.
Sophia. First question I got to ask. Did Hamilton try to rip up her birth certificate to get rid of her?
No, that's
Are you
a good
sure?
one. No.
It sounds like they get along very well.
They do. Yeah.
All right. So Hamilton sounds like a relatively recent addition to your life.
Just about a year.
Just about a year.
Yeah.
So what kind of went through the process of you going to get Hamilton? What went into that?
Yeah, so I had lost my other dog in April of last year.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and so I went through 3 pretty grief-heavy months. And I kind of just woke up one day in the parking lot of the dog shelter. And that was on a Sunday, July 7th. Where I adopted Hamilton and did their foster to adopt program. I always knew I was going to get him, but with that week, they would, if anything happened veterinarily, if that's a word, they would have helped pay for it, whatever. So ultimately, they gave me a week, and I finalized the adoption in 5 days on July 12th.
All right, so that's a great story. I just have one question. You said you woke up outside of a
Yeah, it was really
shelter?
weird. I just kind of came to outside of the dog shelter. I had no conscious thought of going there, but yeah, there I was on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. It was Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, so you drove there, and the next thing you know, you were there.
I was there. They were busy and short-staffed, so I signed in or whatever, and they're like, just go see the dogs. Let us know which dogs you want to put on the list to see. First dog I saw was Hamilton. His name was Ramirez.
Oh.
And so now his name's Hamilton Ramirez.
It's a big shift from Ramirez to Hamilton.
Actually, there's a story there too. But anyway, I put him on the list first. I saw 4 other dogs, put them on the list. But by the time I got seen, it was like 4:30. They were about to close at 5. They're like, we have time to let you see one dog. Who's it going to be? I said, it's going to be Hamilton.
Why, I guess at the time Ramirez, what did Ramirez...
So July is in the summer. I'm a big baseball fan. And Jose Ramirez is the best player on the Cleveland Guardians. So I was like, what does that kind of trigger? I was like, oh, well, the Cleveland Guardians radio broadcaster who I listen to almost every day is Tom Hamilton. So I go, Hamilton.
So why did you change it from Ramirez? Did you not like Ramirez on the Guardians
Because I
anymore?
wanted to name him.
You want the name of him?
Yeah, so now he's Hamilton Ramirez.
Hamilton Ramirez.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
It's a great name.
All right, so do you have the same heartfelt story for Miss Sophia?
Sophia was, so The Bad Men I just told you about my book.
Yeah.
The sequel that I wrote to that.
Writing sequels?
Right. a strong female character in that book was named Sophia. I just love the name, and so that stuck.
Were you going around looking for dogs named Sophia and then you found one? It's like, you're coming home with me, or was this?
How did I find Sophia?
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to get Hamilton another dog. I wanted to get him a sister, and I wanted this new dog to match Hamilton's energy level and his play style.
Yeah.
And in the post that the rescue organization posted about Sophia, her name then being Raven, seemed to fit perfectly. So I met her, and that was that.
So how did Hamilton and Sophia, how did they first interact when they first saw each other?
Honestly, Hamilton didn't pay too much attention because we met at a dog park. And Hamilton's very active and social.
Yeah.
And Sophia was young, and she'd been bounced around to 3 or 4 homes at that point in her adoption journey. Very good foster homes, but it's been a lot of homes. And I think that was the first time at a dog park, so she was just taking it all in. So they didn't really interact all that much that first time.
All right, and I assume that do they still sit in the opposite rooms of the house now, or?
No, they're pals.
They're pals now.
Yes, they're pals.
So what's one of your, I guess, most heartwarming scenes when you see them?
Oh, they both try to jump on me to say hello, but then Hamilton, I think, gets a little jealous. So he pivots quickly from saying hello to me to just play attacking her.
That's heartwarming.
To me, it is.
Your poor siblings growing up.
You see my version of love?
That is a lot of version of love. Well, I think you picked a fantastic date. So what I'll have you do is I'll kind of explain what bite brains are to anyone who's never heard about them before.
Okay.
As you kind of read the entry that we're going to talk about today. Is that cool with you?
Let's do it.
All right, here you go. So bite brains are how I mentally process the world. They're one of my favorite tools to use that I try to use Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and skipping Sunday to take a rest day. Generally, they're broken down into one of 3 categories: mind, body, or spirit. Mind is about creating mental rooms, be it the ice skating room, the law school room, the novel writing room. We all have different mental rooms in our lives that we dedicate mental energy to. The next is body. Body is about taking a 360 holistic view of yourself. It's more than just about nutrition or about how many hours you work out. It's also about how you carry your stress levels, the environment around you, and also how much sleep you get. And the last is spirit. Spirit's about diving in and reaching out. Diving into your own code of conduct to figure out how you're going to operate around the world, and then reaching out to others, understanding that you can't do this thing called life alone. Cory, did you have a chance to read that?
I did.
All right, fantastic. What'd you think?
It was a good one.
Oh, all right. So what I'll do is I'll read it out loud for people that can't see, and then we'll talk about it.
Let's do it.
So this one, once again, is on 7/12/2024. And this is a body entry. And the title is Stance. To make no mistakes is not in the power of man, but from their errors and mistakes, the wise and good learn wisdom for the future. Plutarch. Proper form, be it in nutrition values, hours slept, recovery time, grip width, lifting path for a rep, or running stride. Focusing how you do something should take top priority. Making the same mistakes over time will not only impede progress, it could also lead to physical, mental, and emotional damage. It's hard to see what you're doing wrong as you're doing it. Not only is it hard, you've likely been doing it for a certain way for so long that you're convinced that it has to be the right way. You'll have that conviction well after you stop noticing growth and progress in the area of your body you're targeting. One great way to break out of your current form is to work alongside and with others to get an outside perspective on how you're moving your body, especially when proper movement can not only prevent injury, but also can help you push further, faster, and longer. Once you tune into proper form, you'll see the flash of growth as movements not only become easier, but also with less pain. So Cory, have you ever lifted weights?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had a couple of surgeries this year.
I know, I picked you up from one.
You did. Thank you for doing that. I was on the after effects of the medication, so it was kind of touch and go as far as my memory is concerned. But I do appreciate you picking me up.
Of course.
And the funny thing about those surgeries is that I can trace them back to me using improper form. And so going with the meniscus tear, I was taking long running strides, which is something you're not supposed to do, on top of having bad running shoes. And so it's more than just like the body being like your physical self, it's also about the gear that you have. The same thing with the shoulder surgeries. Because I was flaring out my elbows a certain way, I was having additional strain on my shoulder muscles and the tendons there, and my AC joint and rotator cuff didn't like that. And it wasn't until that people took the time to kind of teach me how to do proper things that I actually learned, like, okay, this is a proper way to do it. Not only is the new form kind of less painful, but it's also a lot more efficient and allows me to go higher in weight. And I think you and I can both see how this applies in just beyond the body.
Certainly.
And so body is also about thinking about the environment around you. And so a lot of good friends will tell you when you're doing something wrong. And the tough part about it is, like, I've been doing this the same way my whole life. And you think to yourself, what if they're right? How do you kind of break out of that shell? And so I kind of like the idea of stances because it's not only about kind of like physically working out, but also how you carry yourself in the world. And you become a really good friend of mine as far as like making sure I'm staying on the right path about things. And so kind of listening to your advice, the first thing is like, oh, you can't be right. Like, Cory, you're an idiot. You can't be right about this because I've been doing it this way my whole life. But once I started taking in that advice and kind of listening and looking at it from a 360 viewpoint, I'm like, damn it, Cory was right. And so I kind of like the idea of stance because it helps me realize that, yeah, just because you've been doing things the same way over and over and over again, it doesn't mean it was the right way. There might be easier ways to do things. You know, life is hard enough as it is. It's like, why make it harder by not making sure that the stance is right? It's like building the firm foundation. You can have the most beautiful house ever, but if you build it on shifting sand, the house isn't going to last. So you have to have a firm foundation, and chances are you have to get that from other people to kind of learn how to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what'd you think of that bike brain? Except for being the best thing ever written in human history.
Well, I think that my favorite lines in there were, you've been doing it so long, of course you think it's right.
Yeah.
And then the other favorite line is, it takes an outside perspective to help you make that change.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge lifter. And I do like cardio, like running. But I didn't really apply that bike brain to body for me very much at all, because there were many other areas in my life that needed growth, that applies to.
I think it's fascinating too, because although it was a body, it kind of reminds me kind of spirit.
100%.
And spirit is kind of like the idea of diving into figure out your own code of conduct.
Yep.
And then reaching out to others.
Yep.
And that reaching out kind of happens in one of two ways. You're either reaching out to them to see how you're doing, or they're reaching out to you to see how you're doing. And generally, like, if you reach out for help for someone, like, I'm not sure about you, but whenever I've asked or I've been open and vulnerable with someone and I needed their help with something, very rarely has it failed. In fact, I can't think of an instance where someone's like, you know what? I know you need help. You asked for it. Too bad. GFY, go figure it out. Like, that hasn't happened to me. So I think kind of that stance is the same thing with spirit. Do you know about habit building and everything?
Tell me.
Yeah, so James Clear wrote a book called Atomic Habits. Is it up there? It is not. Sorry, Mr. Clear. James Clear wrote a book called Atomic Habits, and one of the toughest things to do is kind of raise awareness to what you're currently doing. And sometimes it takes an outsider's perspective to do that. And so, for instance, when you first started figure skating and playing ice blades on the, I guess, rink? Is it a rink?
Rink.
2 points for Dan Best. Someone had to kind of show you how to do that. And so your stance was probably all wrong at first. And it's like, you know what? I know what I'm doing, especially if like you were a teenager and you're starting to learn things. If you really want to level up, they're like, hey, you have to make this adjustment. And it's like, I kind of trust that person. So it kind of taps into that tenet of spirit. It's like reaching out to that person, someone that's a little further along on your journey or on the journey than you are. It's like, what do they know? What can they do to teach me? The thing about that is that you don't always have to take the advice. It's like, what can I do to either absorb that advice or modify it to make it my own? And so I kind of agree with you there. So how have you kind of taken stances from other people and applied to your own life?
Well, I think just a very simple example you outlined is a coach in skating or a coach in any sport. That's exactly what you're saying. To make these adjustments that I can't feel myself, that they say, oh, you're doing this and this to change that. But so the reason I picked July 12th of 2024, when I officially adopted Hamilton, was I felt that was really the beginning of my shift and kind of my growth journey. And so that stance has fallen on that day is, I think, really interesting. I started seeing a therapist, and I'm a big advocate of therapy and trying to grow, because in terms of like you said, in terms of spirit, how do you know what you're doing is right or wrong? You have no idea other than that you've been doing it. And it's got you to this point. And so you think, well, then it must be working. But you start to realize from a different perspective that, okay, some of the things you're doing just are not working. They're not creating good habits, and you're not getting good outcomes. And those things can change, I think, is the biggest takeaway.
Well, one, I think it's awesome that you go see a therapist or you went to go see a therapist. I think a lot of people have the stigma around mental health in general, and I think that stigma needs to be eliminated as much as possible. You mentioned that the July 12, 2024 date was kind of like a lot of different shifting changes. And kind of going back to something you said earlier, it's like you had lost your former dog about 3 months before that. And so you were in a certain kind of, I guess, headspace and everything. And 3 months later, you just kind of found yourself outside of a shelter.
The dog shelter.
The dog shelter. And you went and got Ramirez, who became Hamilton Ramirez. So I guess what was, kind of like your headspace and thought process before that shift happened?
Yeah, I was deep into grief. I was just wandering and lost those 3 months without my dog. I was surviving, I was existing, but everything else was kind of just taken to zero. And so that was kind of the first step I took out of that, that period where I was just a lot of nothingness. You could be objective about grief while you're in it. It's like, wow, these physical changes are happening. These mental changes are happening. I know these things are happening to me, but I still couldn't get out of the hole that was grief. It was something I've really never truly have gone through, that I never have gone through that before. So yeah, I think when I kind of came to, in a lot of ways, at that dog shelter, to myself, to that physical location, and to the fact that that was the beginning of a journey.
I think the thing about grief too, and I think it's fascinating that you said, like, objectively, you kind of saw these changes happening, probably manifested themselves as physical changes too. I think a lot of people have a hard time not even getting to that point. Like, they're like, okay, I know I'm going through this, but like everyone kind of goes through this when they have a loss.
Right.
And yet you kind of took the step further. It seemed like just kind of life itself took you there, because you don't remember going to the dog shelter at all. So if you know what I'm asking, what kind of went into your decision to not only adopt Ramirez, which became Hamilton Ramirez, but also to go seeing a therapist?
Because I knew I couldn't do it alone. I didn't have the tools. I knew I didn't have the tools, but I also didn't know what the tools were that I was missing. And so I needed someone to help guide me through that journey. Was
that a tough decision to kind of come to?
No, I've done therapy before. But no, that was not a tough decision to come to. It was a necessary decision.
Nice. So what's kind of been the most eye-opening thing about therapy for yourself?
To learn to kind of take behavioral patterns and kind of put them on the table and examine them, but also to learn why you've been doing them and why they are so comfortable when really they're so damaging.
You know something? You're on my shit list right now.
Why is this?
Because you said this wasn't about body and stance. That's exactly what stance was. You thought you're doing things the right way, and then this outsider comes and shows you how to do it better.
Right.
So you're maneuvering through the world. Maneuvering is like a physical thing.
That's right.
I mean, it's not a strong argument for stance being body, but I tried there.
I appreciate it.
No, I think that's fantastic as far as what you did, as far as like being one, not only open to seeking help, but two, being honest with yourself. I think a lot of people will be honest with themselves, but they're like, I don't need therapy. Therapy is weak and everything. But I think those are just stupid thoughts and opinions to kind of have. So, Cory, thank you once again for sharing kind of like your experiences and your rewriting of my bite brain from a body entry to a spirit entry. I'm not giving you any credit for that.
You know, the writers are always editors at heart, so...
That sounds like you want money for it. You're still not getting any money.
No money necessary.
All right, appreciate it. You heard that? He gave me the rights to change it. It's fine. So, Cory, you also had a second piece of homework.
Okay.
And that second piece was, what tool do you use to find the best path forward in your own life?
Yeah. Yeah. And what is there a tool you're looking for specifically, or just something that I've used to help me?
So picture this. You have this goal in life that you want to hit. Like, how do you process and kind of get to that goal? Like, what tools do you make sure you stay on track and everything? Things like that.
I think it's constant.
Hang on, let me I gotta write it down.
Okay. Will I make money off this one? No, I'm kidding.
Hey, if I'm writing it down, copyright goes in the book. It's in the auto copyright book. Is that a thing in the law?
I don't know.
It's about to be. There we go. All right, so what do you do?
It's constant pursuit of self-understanding.
That was deep.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It means in order to make any of the changes that I want to make, it's all based on, do I know who I am and what I want?
So how do you go about, I guess, even looking at resources to figure out who you are or what you want?
Well, I think that's the beauty and the pain of that is there are no resources in terms of physical resources. I think there's outside resources like therapy or friends to help you reach those milestones. But a lot of it is it's setting rules, setting boundaries, and constantly maybe even asking yourself why and what do I want? Why are you doing this and what do you want? Start with why.
I was like, you saw that, right?
From my perspective, it looked like you were pointing at the other one.
That was 1,000%. I'm not pointing at 1792. Don't be an alcoholic. Start with why.
Yeah.
How was that superpowers? That was.
Sit in my perspective, you'll see.
I'm going to replay this. That was a perfect point right there. Start with why. Mm-hmm. So, as you're figuring out kind of like constant pursuit of self-understanding.
Right.
And figuring out who you are and what you want. You said an important thing there is that sometimes there's not like a written code of like a dictionary of like Cory. It's a dictionary of like, okay, maybe these people have gone through similar things. Maybe they can help me kind of help understand myself. Mm-hmm. So what does it mean for you to kind of like figure out the why?
Well, it's to figure out the why. Well, I think that's diving into my past and understanding the actions that I take now, where they're rooted in, so I can help change those behaviors, whatever they happen to be, however they happen to manifest.
So when you're kind of diving into the past, you always want to change the behaviors, or there's some that you like?
Though there's some that I like, certainly. And it's not about change for change's sake. It's finding out what's working and what's holding me back.
Ooh. What's working and what's holding you back? Mm-hmm. So you have this why, like if something doesn't work, you kind of go back to the root of it. Mm-hmm. Do you have an example of that? I am super curious.
Boy, I don't know off the top of my head.
Nothing off the top of your head.
Nothing off the top of my head. I imagine a lot of these things are probably based in childhood, and they just become so firmly held because who thinks of things when you're a child? You kind of accept things, and so those behaviors just stick with you until you challenge them and try to change them. Very hard.
So what makes you want to challenge them?
Because I could always try to make myself a better person for myself and for others. So that's the goal. So that's why you would want to challenge them.
I dig that. So far I have kind of like three big tenets of what you said in the constant pursuit of self-understanding. One is kind of establishing the rules. Two is kind of having the boundaries. Mm-hmm. And the third one is the why. Are there three, or are those the only three kind of like overarching themes?
Yeah, I think so.
I dig that.
Yeah.
So we started with why.
Right.
You're going to be impressed by that one day.
I was why
because I started with why, and that's
right.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We don't need to talk about that. So the next two are rules and boundaries. So for the constant pursuit of self-understanding, what does it mean to have rules?
Well, it means that you're going to set rules that perhaps your old behaviors and your old way of going about things are now impinging against the rules. And you need to be able to recognize that and say, okay, I'm going to have to stop this because it's going against my rules.
You know, it's funny when you were talking about that. I'm not sure if you know this. I used to be a FFK, a former fat kid.
Okay. Yeah. So I've heard.
You're laughing in my face. Here I am sharing. And you're still laughing.
Because that's a funny term. I've never heard it described like that.
That's cool. Next time you say something heartfelt, I'm going to start laughing. You're still laughing.
Because I enjoy you, Dan.
Enjoy me being a FFK. So one of the rules I had to kind of get rid of was like eating everything in sight. And so right now, like I'm like, it took time to kind of like code that new habit into myself. It's like, all right, rule. Yes, you can sometimes splurge. Like 80-20 rule, eat clean 80% of the time, 20, most of the time it's like 90-10. Like 10% is like, you can kind of throw away. But even when that 10% hits, it's like, oh, I make sure I'm around friends and everything, like make it a social setting. Like you and I go out to restaurants, you're like, let's order 3 appetizers.
I know, we do
who
that.
needs that?
We do that.
On top of like entrees. And it's like, you know what? Dessert, why not?
Yeah.
Dessert at the restaurant, dessert at Grater's. It's like, let's do
I
it.
think they have a lime now. We got to try.
A lime?
Yeah, like lime
Grater's?
ice cream. Know how I get the lemon? I think they have lime. I just read that. So we got to go.
That 10% rule right there, that's like 8%
We'll
of it
push
right
that
there.
up to 12.
But that's kind of like one of the rules I had to establish myself. It's like complete or constant pursuit of self-understanding. It's like kind of going back to like, well, why did I eat? It's like probably when I was younger, I used to eat my feelings, you know? It's like, you know, I'm bored or because I was feeling emotional about something. Like processed foods right there, let me just eat it up. And so a rule for myself was like, well, let's minimize the amount of bad processed food that we have around. And that's because I want to have this healthier pursuit of myself. I like that rule. What rules did you set for yourself?
Well, a rule for me is I don't want to constantly just go along with things. I want to be able to assert myself in certain situations where it's like, you know what, this isn't good for me, and this isn't what I want, so I'm just not going to do it.
I used to be a yes man too, to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And now I get enjoyment out of saying no.
Yeah.
It's shockingly freeing.
Yeah, it is a hard one, that's for sure.
It is a hard one.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have to force myself to say no. Because like, while I would love to do that, I worry about future Dan. And future Dan might be impacted if I say yes to every decision.
Right.
And so as far as like not going along with the coast, what's been one of the biggest benefits of kind of like asserting yourself more?
Well, I think it's reassuring to that I'm making a decision that aligns with who I'm trying to be. So I think that is the benefit, is that I'm making a decision that's in my best interest.
I dig that. So we started with why.
We did.
You did it. I'm proud of you. And then we talked about rules. Now this next one is a little confounding to me. I can use big words too. Confounding. I feel like that's the right word to use there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does it mean to have boundaries?
Boundaries means you know when things are making you uncomfortable, and you're able to identify those things and identify those things in others and say, that's not right for me. And so I don't have to go along with it. Closely tied into rules, but boundaries, I think, are akin to recognition.
So boundaries are kind of what set the stage of raising awareness to it.
Yeah.
It's like you already have kind of like this subtle awareness to it because you're having a physical reaction to it. And based on that physical reaction, you kind of dive in and figure out, well, I don't like this. Why am I feeling like this?
Yeah.
And do I need to establish rules to kind of like avoid that?
Right. Yeah, I think rules I set for me and boundaries I observe in others and know what's. And I'm not saying what others do is wrong. It's just not right for me, right? And so that's a boundary I'm going to set because I've made that a rule that I'm going to respect those boundaries.
You're a lot nicer than I am. I'm like, that's objectively wrong. You're like, you know what? That's good for you, but not for me.
I listen, people often don't just go do the wrong thing. They do what's right for them. And I'm not saying these are bad things, but two people just aren't compatible sometimes.
I agree. So the constant pursuit of self-understanding, what made you think of this as your tool for, I guess, personal development?
Because that's what I think I'm working on most right now, and have been. It's very difficult to kind of get down, because you got to question everything and understand and recognize a lot, and it takes constant effort. And so that's what I've been working on lately.
Okay. So how's it been working out for you so far?
Work in progress. Yeah, work in progress.
Are you giving yourself grace?
I try. when I remember to.
So why? I don't understand when you remember to.
Well, it's just I got to remind myself that grace is the other side of the coin, I think. And the grace is very much a part and parcel with a development or growth journey. But it could also get lost.
Okay. So how do you celebrate when you kind of implement these rules, boundaries, and remembering the why of things?
You know, it's funny. I read, I think I remember the book, but you know, when you get to the end of the book, there's the acknowledgments and the writer writes long comments about things. One writer wrote, listen, if you even sit down and write one paragraph or one sentence in a day, and that's all you wrote, you should celebrate that because that's a major win. And I was like, wow, that was really eye-opening in my writing journey. I say all that to say that does not translate to my personal growth journey, not because it doesn't, but because I haven't implemented that. And so to answer your question, I don't celebrate these things other than just seeing the results for when I'm making changes. I suppose the celebration comes with the changing of the result, but I don't think I do anything to maybe mark the day.
Do you think you should?
Yeah, absolutely. We should be rewarding ourselves for the hard work. I just also lose sight of that.
All right. This is a little non-traditional. This is your tool, but I like the idea of making sure that you kind of celebrate as you're kind of hitting these milestones. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate that into your tool.
Definitely.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, please. I could use the help.
Well played, sir. I dig it. So celebrate your progress. Mm-hmm. So if you were going to start implementing celebrate your progress, what would it look like?
See, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
We could go out to eat and get ice cream?
It's one thing.
Okay. I don't know. That is one aspect of this I haven't really thought about, is how to celebrate. Because in part because there's no like tangible thing you can see, right? These are just behaviors and feelings. And so those are kind of hard to quantify sometimes. And I think also because sometimes you take some steps forward and you take some steps back. So it's hard to measure progress sometimes too, in this kind of sloshy world where all the boundaries are being moved around at times.
So let me ask you this, because I agree that sometimes taking a step forward, you can take 2 steps back. Mm-hmm. I live by the Kaizen approach of like consistent incremental progress.
He's up there too?
Kaizen?
Yeah. No.
What do you? That's not how that works. Oh, I fell for it. Don't do that. No, come on. All right. There is nothing back there that says Kaizen. There's still nothing back there that says Kaizen. He's being the mean person.
Oh.
It's fine. But like, as you're setting out constant pursuit of self-understanding, do you ever think about incorporating milestones when you find yourself no longer reacting to the same things in the same way that you used to?
I don't incorporate them, but I think that would be showing myself grace. I think
so too.
Yeah.
Because although like right now you're essentially going along a highway with no endpoint.
Yeah, that's what it doesn't. I disagree about that. I think there is an endpoint, but
it's called death.
Well, no, I think the endpoint. It feels like I'll know it when I'm there. You know, and that's kind of how I am framing this.
All right.
But I also understand and acknowledge within myself that there have been milestones achieved.
Yeah.
But they're not being celebrated.
So what are some of your favorite milestones that have been achieved?
Establishing rules and boundaries.
Rules and boundaries were the method to get to the milestone. What was the milestone? When did you notice that the actual rule and boundary had worked?
Well, first, just having the ability just to establish those, I think, is a good thing.
I think so too.
To put them sort of in place. Maybe in relationships with people, again, standing up for what's right for you it has happened for me. So I think just even milestones like that could be celebrated. Yeah.
So does that mean we're going to start celebrating your milestones?
Let's do it.
So how does that relate to the constant pursuit of self-understanding?
Well, because that's all in that goal. Because again, you in order to achieve any of this, rules and boundaries and doing what's right for you, you got to know what's right for you. And you could only know that by knowing yourself.
And by celebrating the milestones, it's actually filling up, your love language tank of the right way, instead of like doing based on what someone else wants. Like, hey, this is what I like. This is how I'm going to celebrate.
Exactly. Your way is not my way. And your way works for you, but it probably wouldn't work for me because we're two different people. And so saying like, put some stock in myself. Yeah.
I would never celebrate with lime or lemon ice cream.
Well, you're missing out.
There's one ice cream to get at Grader's, and it's Elena's Blueberry Pie. Unlucky for me, it's only available 1 month of the year.
I think September, right?
I know, it's coming up.
Yeah.
I know, September's a great month.
Yeah.
So Cory, you've given us some like really good tools, and so I kind of want to recap those.
Yeah.
For your constant pursuit of self-understanding, there are 3 things, and then I added 1.
Okay.
The first is having rules. The next is having boundaries. The next is having a why. Mm-hmm. And last but not least is kind of celebrating the milestones, whatever that looks like. Mm-hmm. Are there any other steps of this tool?
Just the constant, the desire to grow and not settle.
Number 5, fuel the desire to grow. This is why I recap these things. Everyone's always like, I have one more thing to add after I do this nice little recap. So saying them.
Okay, try it again.
All right. And I'm going to
start with why.
So number 1, start with why. Number 2, have rules for yourself. Number 3, have boundaries that you put up against others trying to encroach on your peace and space. Number 4, have milestones and celebrate those small moments regardless of what they are. And number 5, keep that fire going.
Yep.
I dig that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to call this?
I don't know. What should I call it?
I don't know.
What? I don't know. Let's think.
You have to make up a name.
We'll think of a name.
Yeah, like right now. Whew, pressure's on. Drink some water. Give them time.
I'll keep adding 6, 7, and 8 until I can think of time.
Oh, pen doesn't work.
I don't know. What should we call it, Dan? Well, why don't we call it the stance method? Or just stance?
Standing up against the world and standing up for yourself.
Yeah.
I dig that. That's really good.
Thanks.
And since you used some of the Bike Brain title, I assume the proceeds go to me.
Yes, go for it.
I dig that.
Just pay for my ice cream once in a while.
I could do that with all the royalties. Watch out. Nothing. Stance tool broken down into 5 pieces. I dig that, Cory.
Cool.
Well, in closing, do you have anything you want to say to the people listening and watching?
Just continue on your growth journeys, and I appreciate you tuning in.
Short and sweet. You know you're coming back, right?
Let's do it.
All right, man. Let's cheers out. Until next time, have a good one. Thank you for watching and listening to today's episode. Chances are you're looking to embark on your own personal development journey. I'm not going to lie to you. True personal development is hard, and it's supposed to be hard. That's because you're not only changing who you are, but how you operate. The aim of this podcast is to give you a community of people that are striving to do the same. So like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, comment below on how you plan on using today's tool to find your own best path forward. We'll see you next time.